I think a lot of the times when you're younger, you want to do so many things in such a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
you're like, I can do this, that. And sometimes it just doesn't play out like that. There's things that people do that I look up to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like
Like,
that a
there's
lot.
things I can take, from you and say, I really like that in Shane. I want to model that in my own life.
Yeah, you pick
You
the
know what I
best
mean?
parts of people because we're
Yeah.
not perfect. Welcome to the Rain from Within show. Today's episode is different. Marcus Keller is one of my closest friends. We met in college under ridiculous circumstances. Lost keys, walk of shame, random phone call to a guy I barely knew, asking him to let me into the building we both lived in. That moment started a brotherhood that has seen everything: party seasons, immaturity, ego, business growth, broken friendships, travel, faith shifts, and overall becoming completely different men than we were at age 20. This episode is about growth and it's about who you were versus who you're becoming. If you like the episode, make sure you drop a comment of your biggest takeaway. Make sure you're subscribed or following whatever thing you're on. And let's get into it. Enjoy the show. All right, bro. So I just want to start off by thanking you for coming on the pod, Mark. You're my closest friend to come on the pod yet. Well, I don't want to discount Jeff or anybody else that's come on so far, but I've known you for quite a long time. And I want to ask you, do you remember when we first officially connected?
Uh, yes. Because we lived in the same apartment building.
Yes. Do you remember like the exact day though?
Um, well, I remember even before that, I remember when I went out, we were handing maps out and stuff. The
Oh,
college
yeah.
kids. Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Um,
So that's
so I
good.
remember that, but we didn't officially meet till I think you need to get let in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To-
So it was a walk of shame. I was going to bring that up. Like, I didn't get to stay at Benton that night for unknown reasons. And then I couldn't get in because Kevin was asleep. So I look at Snap Map and I'm like, oh, this Marcus Keller. I think I just called you randomly on
Yeah,
Snap.
you're like, hey man, let me.
Yeah. And then you pulled up to the apartment for a minute. And I think that was the first time you saw the apartment warehouse.
Yep.
And I think I gave you like a wristband or something. And then it's like deuces. And then a few days later, I think you were hanging out with Kevin in his room. And then we started hanging out every day. So, yeah,
But no funny business was happening in his room, all right?
right. Yeah, definitely keeping it PG, of course. So, when we first started hanging out, I want to ask you, like, what season of life were you in personally?
Man, I mean, honestly, just trying to figure things out. I mean, I'm still trying to figure things out, but I think even more so than just, college is just weird. You know what I mean? It can be not weird, but you're just trying to figure yourself out, really, is what it
Yeah.
comes down to. And you're meeting new people, you're trying new things, whether it be good or bad. That's really where I was at, trying to figure out who am I exactly.
Yeah, and I'll give you a lot of flowers here. I remember one of the first few weeks we were working out. Well, we were hanging out. You're like, "Yo, can I hit the gym with you?" And at the time, I don't know if you were really hitting the gym as consistently, but do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I was hitting the gym, just not okay. How do I put it? I was in there, but I wasn't as intentional with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
and usually when someone tells me they want to hit the gym with me, I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, bro. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if you show up." And then I think the next
yeah,
day
right.
you were there. And then dude, I felt like you made incredible gains, especially the first couple years I met you. Like I felt like you were like really small when I first met you. Like you've always been aesthetic, but
For sure.
didn't you
Yeah.
put on like 20 pounds?
Yeah, probably like 20, 25, somewhere around there.
Dude, let's go. So looking back at college us, what makes you laugh and what makes you cringe?
I think what really makes me laugh when I look back is just how much I don't know, I really feel like we had a good time, man. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm not to say that we didn't care, but we just we were free, you know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be great. And whatever we were doing, it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
But I think the cringe part was just maybe when I look back at some videos, just how we were flexing or some of the things we would say,
Oh my
some of the
gosh.
side conversations we would be having. Um,
Yep.
but other than that, man, there's not much. Really, just like just that free bird mindset. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're gonna pull up to Milwaukee and make a video with people, or we'll go to Mankato and make a vlog.
Oh my gosh. We need to talk about that, dude. I actually wrote that down. So, one of the first impressions you probably had of me was when I crashed the van in Milwaukee. So, little fun story. We were planning a business trip because I was going to be on a radio show with my surgeon for the chest surgery I had. This was 4 or 5 years after the fact. This is like winter 2020. It's super cold out, snowy. And we had a friend that couldn't make it to the trip last minute. And I was like, yo, Mark, you want to pull up instead? And I think you had like a few hour notice and you're like, I'm there. You pull up with us, me, Kevin, Darian, and dude, I freaking crashed his van because my mindset back then, and I think you and I could both agree with this. I mean, the way we met, it was like I was indulging the night before. And then this moment, I just did not have priorities at all for what really mattered because we had a photo shoot later that day as well. And I was irresponsible and I was like, I'm gonna go on a date like the night before the event. And the morning of, woke up a little late, was driving my friend's van, boom. Freaking crashed because it was so dang icy. And I just remember you and our friends were just like, dude, like you're tweaking. And that was a big wake up call for me. So I just look back at that moment. I guess when you think about that, what do you see versus where we're at now?
I just see, honestly, just a little bit of immaturity there. I mean, we're young, we're thinking, hey, we can make. I think a lot of the times when you're younger, you want to do so many things in such a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You're like, I can do this, that. And sometimes it just doesn't play out like that. And I think just thinking, not thinking 2 steps ahead, really just thinking, hey, I want to, get whatever, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what
there's a lot of immaturity for sure. But I want to ask you, like, because we started off as neighbors, then we became roommates. So what did living together teach you about me that most people wouldn't know? That's such a dumb question.
I don't know, man. I just think, I don't know. I just saw you for who you were. You know what I'm saying? I saw, how hard you worked and the things that you liked. Big Tame Impala fan over here.
Oh, yeah, of course, dude. You got any favorite memories from Aguilera?
Favorite memories from the Ag.
We used to go to Subway a lot.
Yes, the Subway runs were nice. I think, honestly, just some of the favorite memories were just, it sounds lame, but just like when we just sit outside on the patio and we just, talk about whatever. Or we just, sit around the table and talk. For me, that those are my most favorite memories. Yeah, we had, our funs and the beer pong, but when you just kind of like just sit and talk and just, I don't know, pick each other's brains. I mean, that's my favorite memory for sure. Favorite memories for sure,
Yeah, for sure. I remember one summer, I think it was right when we moved to Aguilera, we both got COVID.
Yes.
And I missed out on half of my family trip because we always go up north. And I remember we were biking around campus and like no one's there, just big chilling on the bike trail and Myrick and all that. So that was another core memory for me as well. But yeah, the patio hangouts were different. They were fun.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
So
when we both had COVID, that was great.
What are the chances? I don't.
Biking around, like,
yeah.
Someone comes near us, they're scared.
We had like a force field around us.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think is important for a strong brotherhood? Like, what do you look for in a good friend?
And strong brotherhood. I think first and foremost is honesty, man. Um, you got to be honest with one another, and not only that, but just while you're being honest, that you convey those things in a loving way. I mean, because there's two ways to look at it. You can be honest with someone, but you can say it in a way that kind of it's like knives. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But being honest in a way that they can receive it, and then on the flip side of that, I think just being a very very good listener. You know, and being intentional with your listening. And having empathy for that person and just being all ears. I think
mm.
those two things are probably some of the most important for me. And I think if you can build off of that, you're gonna be able to build that strong relationship. And this goes for I think any relationship,
Yeah, for
man,
sure.
woman, woman, man and woman. I think those two things are so important. And just being selfless in that relationship too. So,
Yeah, communication's everything, and like you said, the delivery of how you want somebody to correct themselves is really
right.
important. I think there's a way of doing it it's got to be out of love for sure,
Yeah,
but
right, right.
yeah, when the delivery's off and or comes off as condescending, that's when it's difficult to be willing to listen, when it's like, oh,
Exactly.
like, bro, you trying to sun me?
Yeah, right, right.
But
You just,
yeah, I look back at a couple of our friendships in the past that I had to burn bridges with, and I'm super grateful for them. I know it comes down to they probably one of the best for me at the moment, but like I hate burning bridges today's day and age. Like I don't think like what's your philosophy on burning bridges?
I don't, I, I, I personally believe, it's something that I would prefer not to do, unless, obviously there's things that happen that, hey, like you have to be away from this person. So
Yep.
I honestly think that, there should always be that mutual respect there, mutual understanding there, and that because you don't know. I mean, what if? Who knows? What if you might need that person for in the future, or vice versa? You know what
Right.
I mean? So I just think the burning bridges part for me does more damage than good, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, if you can control it and you can work it out, then heck yeah.
Right.
But it comes down to alignment. Sometimes we gotta just handle things the right way. Like if someone has a problem with you, ideally you can go to their face with it. I think
Exactly.
that's a huge concern when you can't be honest with each other, like we talked about like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, man, that's definitely important. So I guess what do you look for now in a close friend that you might not have cared about at age 20 when we first met?
I think it goes back to what I was saying, like someone that actually listens
Yep.
and someone that's willing to, I guess, willing to put themselves in your shoes in a sense. I think a lot of times when you're younger, it's all surface level or it's about fun. You know what I mean? Kind of the two things that you tie to, oh, well, we just have fun together. But I mean, you're really just bringing each other down in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said it really well. And when we first started, you're like, we want to get so much done in such a little amount of time. And college flew by, dude. Holy
Right.
crap.
Yeah.
College flew by. I felt like every day really mattered, and it still does. But now that we're older and I have more discernment, I'm like, dude, I was just going way too fast. Sometimes if you go through life so fast, you miss out on what people are trying to tell you. And yeah, you keep your ears closed. We got 2 years in one mouth for a reason. I feel like a huge flaw of mine in the past was I didn't listen well enough. So I appreciate y'all being sticking with me sometimes when I was a degenerate. But anyways, man, so we lived together for a year and then you went to Colombia. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like what made you go to Colombia?
Well, I was a Spanish major, so I really just wanted to experience a different culture. I mean, I've always loved one of the things that I truly truly believe that being a human being is getting to know people that are different from you. And from a young age, I've always had an interest in and cultures that are different for me, people that don't look like me or people that speak different than me.
Hmm.
And so just stemming from that, like once I actually had the opportunity, well, let me go back a bit. I didn't study abroad through the university. It was through a third party program because the university actually told me like, yeah, we don't think you can do it. And I looked
Wow.
at them and I was like, watch me. And I found my own way. And so it was really that was a part of it, but just wanted to get to know something different, improve my Spanish, obviously, and it just I was able to take a lot from it, because I was able to see a different way of life, just see how people do things differently, and that there's not necessarily one right way
Mm.
of living, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how you've always been interested in the Hispanic culture and the fact that you're a very well spoken Spanish speaker. It's amazing. Like you and Diego be having those convos sometimes, and yeah, he's our mutual friend. But yeah, dude, I love that. I had no idea that they didn't think you could do it at first, and you had to do it through a third party. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're tweaking. What the heck?
Exactly.
So tell me about the travel aspect of it. What did that teach you about independence?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like I really spreaded my wings in that independence because I was like, okay, I'm away from my family, away from my friends for X amount of time. So that FOMO, whatever, that's gone. That's got to get thrown out the door.
Ooh.
But I really learned to just, I guess, love being alone in the sense of like, hey, here in this country, literally nobody knows who I am. Not one person. You know what I mean? And just learning that being alone is not always a bad thing, and that there's a lot of good that comes with that. And from that trip, my study abroad trip, that really sparked my solo travel interest. I've traveled a few other times since then
Yep.
alone, and I think it's something that everyone should do at some point in your life before you have kids, because it's going to get harder once you get married and have kids. But you're going to learn a lot about yourself, and you're going to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. It's uncomfortable, you don't look over your shoulder and your best guy's right there. It's
Yeah.
just you. You got to make friends. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
gotta get uncomfortably comfortable, and I think for me that's something I really enjoy. I enjoy being uncomfortable. I enjoy being in situations where people are looking at you like, "Where's the foreign guy?"
Yeah. Dude, absolutely. Yeah. I felt that when I was in Mexico City. Nobody looked like me, and I was just like, hey. And they're all curious. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
they can tell with my eyes. They're like, no chance he's from here. But like you said, though, you have to travel solo dolo sometimes because those trips hit different for sure. When I first moved to Florida, before Jimmy and Diego followed me later, I had that first like 2 months just me. I didn't know anybody. Well, I made some connections early on, and that really forces you to have to go out of your comfort zone because, like you said, no one knows you.
No one knows you.
You got nothing to lose.
And for me, it's kind of a freeing feeling. Like, hey, no one knows you here. No one's looking at what you did when you were 15 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think there is also a freeing aspect. Not to say you go there and just become a whole different person, but it's just like that there's nothing there that someone's going to be like, hey, well, you did this, so I don't really know about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, one of your favorite quotes, well, you told me this, I don't know, you said the past has no bearing on the future. What does that mean to you?
That, what I did, yesterday or whatever, that weight, you don't have to carry that weight today. You know, that what happened, and you trying to hold on to it, or, oh man, that's not going to help you right now in the present.
Yeah.
And obviously your actions dictate, kind of where you're at. But sitting here and saying, man, I should have done this. The shoulda game, the shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
It's like that does nothing for you. So that has no bearing on what you're doing right now.
Well said. Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do right now in the present. So that's
Yes.
what that means for me.
It's really good. I remember you told me that one of the first times we were in college, and I was just kept replaying like negative stories, and I was like, dude, well, you said it. You said past is no bearing on the future. I'm like, that's a really good freaking quote. And in my book, I think I talk about that a little bit. I at least have a quote that says, your past is a weight until you choose to use it as a weapon. So,
Right, right.
same philosophy.
Hmm.
Let's go, bro. Well, tell me a little bit about your upbringing, if you don't mind me asking. I know you were adopted. What did that look like? Like, what did that shape in you? If you don't mind going a little bit in depth of kind of what it was like growing up. I know you had a twin sister as well. Just, yeah, as much as you're willing to share.
Yeah, I mean, I think in few words, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have been, put into a good situation. Obviously, like you said, my sister and I were adopted. And my parents divorced when I was younger, but they still did everything they could to give me a good life. And
Yeah.
so I'm grateful for them and grateful for what they've done. But I think all in all, like when I look back at childhood, like it was a good childhood in a sense of like um, there was a lot of good memories, a lot of fun days, and a lot of play. I
Yeah.
guess well is the word I would use. That, and then that's a blessing to be a kid and to have been able to just play and grow like that. That is what I want for my kids, and even more than that.
Yeah.
But I think just growing up, yeah, I mean, it wasn't always perfect. It wasn't always the perfect situation, but my mom really stepped up once my parents got divorced and really did everything she could for us, and I will be forever grateful for that. Um, and so, yeah.
Beautifully said. Can you dive a little bit into what was it like having a twin sister growing up? Was it competitive, protective, motivating? What was that like? Y'all are both genetic freaks. I feel like you both are just because she's a
Um,
great track star, isn't she?
yeah. I think it was cool, man. I mean, I think it's different being boy girl. It's not as like competitive.
Hmm.
It's like you're different genders, you're into different things naturally. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think it was just more so like when I actually look back, like just by having a companion, like someone that is the exact same age, at the exact same spot as you, and you just talk about whatever. You talk about random stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that is one of my favorite things. Is just having someone that I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but I can basically say anything to her, and she's still gonna be there at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Um,
I got a couple cousins that are twins, but they're guys and they're super competitive. Like they don't say it out loud, like "Yo, I'm trying to beat you at this," but
yeah,
they be pushing each other like 4.0 GPAs, both going for becoming like doctors or these big positions, and it's in very competitive in sports and such. So seeing that, hearing that, dude, it's got to be a blessing to have somebody same age, like you mentioned, similar life bring ups,
exactly.
something that you can always
Yeah,
lean on because yeah, they've been through it thick and thin together. So
yeah.
that's awesome, bro. I want to switch gears a little bit. Oh, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, piggyback off that. I mean, I was watching a video the other day, and it's like your siblings are some of the only people that have seen you in every phase of your life, and
Ooh,
that really like sat and thought about that, and it's true. Like they are going to be there. Pray to God that they will be. In every single phase of your life. When you were a little pee-wee idiot, they were there.
yeah,
When you're a grown man, doing your things, they're there. So I just think that's the coolest thing ever.
that is so well said. Yeah, I take my little sisters for granted sometimes. Betsy and Kate, yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that, bro. That's beautiful. So I want to talk about dating and faith. Okay, I want to dive into. We used to watch some interesting content in college on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
And how has your mindset shifted since then?
Oh, it's shifted completely. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I'm not perfect. I still have my moments where I fall into things, but my mindset has shifted in a sense that being with one woman having one woman and, nurturing that relationship is the best thing, I believe, for a man and a woman, being with one person. And I think in today's day and age, it's just so easy to get caught up in the next thing. Everything's so quick. I
Yeah.
think people get bored so quickly, but it's like to really build something, it's not gonna always be fun. I mean, hell, it's not gonna be fun. A lot of the time, it's not going to be fun, and that's just the honest truth. And so I think that my mindset has completely shifted on that. That to build something with one person and stay true to that one person. Stay true to yourself first. If you can't be loyal to yourself, how can you be loyal to somebody else? Um, and that just starts with dying to yourself every single day. Praying to the Lord, hey, I'm struggling with these things and laying it at His feet. I mean, that's something that I have to do daily. There are things that I still struggle with, thoughts that come into my mind, or things that I want to do.
Hmm.
So, and I will be the first to say I've done it with the best of them. So I'm not coming on here acting like I'm him, because I'm not him. But
Yeah.
surrendering yourself to those things, to those actions, I think that's a good place to start and going from there.
That's beautiful. Yes, I totally agree with you. I feel like you had, how long have you always been, how long do you feel like you've been in better alignment with Christ, and or can you walk me back to like how your faith journey has evolved over the years?
Yeah, so I mean, I really think in this past year, things have really, really changed for me because I'm really just ever since I moved back home, you know, is really when my relationship I think changed in a lot of ways. Because in
Mm.
college, I was just kind of coasting and boasting, and there's still periods of time where where that can happen. But I really feel like I've made a lot of strides with my relationship, and there's still a lot to improve. Man, I mean, I'm nowhere near where I need to be or where I want to be. Um, but it is a journey. It's a journey. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Who's calling me right now?
Wait, what? Someone's calling you?
Yeah.
Let's go. I just had to reset the camera. Okay, dude. Yes, I love that the past year, really similar, man. Even though we haven't been physically hanging out as much because we live in different areas now. But yes, when we lived together, at least for me, I was pretty far away from God. I claimed to be a Christian. I started going to church maybe 2 or 3 years ago consistently at first free. I didn't jive with Catholicism as much because it felt very forced. But
Yep.
I've talked about on this show already a little bit, but the non-denomination I really jive with because it's more hip. I have the NLT version of the Bible where it's
Yep.
able to translate and I'm able to really understand the scripture a lot better. And I dive into it every morning now as well. So yeah, I love that we've both grown closer since moving home. Yeah, because your your environment's a huge thing, I think, and yeah, it was just not a priority before.
Exactly.
When I moved down to Florida, I got a group of guys that we would have a Bible study every Wednesday. It was really cool. That I mean, you can't change the past, but dude, imagine if we had something like that when we were in college.
Right.
That would have been crazy. But now we still are in alignment on that. And we have these, like, we had a call a week ago, you and I, and we talked about just dating a little bit and our philosophy of what we look for in a future wife and actions we're doing and decisions. And just want to ask you, like, what does being a man of God mean to you right now?
Oh man, that is a crazy good question. Man, I think being a man of God really means doing the right thing when doing the do okay, how do I put this? I think doing the right thing even when it's extremely hard to do. And not what do I mean by that is um respecting others. I mean, respecting women, respecting their bodies, respecting, you know, and above that, respecting yourself.
Mm,
It all starts with you know what I mean? And I think to really be that man of God, you're gonna have to die to yourself daily. There are
yeah.
gonna be times when that person says something to you and you want to say X, Y, and Z back, but you just gotta swallow it and say, I love you anyways. That is being a man of God. Being a man of God is being a leader, you know, being a leader in your family, being a leader within your friend group, and really doing the hard thing when it's very easy to just sit back and oh man, oh just whatever,
Yeah.
you know. And I think society really wants to soften men. They want beta alkaline men, okay, Charmin style.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
so
know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
But it is important to stand in your masculinity. I don't mean the toxic, oh, macho. No, I mean being a true man. You know,
Yeah.
and that a true man is someone who takes care of their family. You know, and looks out for other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And man, I think it just stems off of those things. It starts with those things. You know, obviously there's. I mean, we could have a whole. We could talk all day about that. But I think it starts with being respectful and being obedient too. Above
Mm,
that, being obedient to what the Lord calls you to do. I mean, what does the word say? You know, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know, and really stepping in and dying to that flesh daily, and,
gosh.
and, and doing it over and over again. I mean, that's what it starts with.
That's so
Okay,
good.
hey God, I got to die to this.
Yeah.
You know, you know.
Yeah. And you said a few minutes ago as well, you're not perfect. No one's perfect. They say that as you get further in your faith journey, it becomes harder because you have a bigger target on your back. The enemy sees
Exactly.
that your faith is growing and they're trying to get you off path. The people that are indulging and or so involved with their vices that their hearts are hardened and they're not even aware of what they're doing. Like the devil, they're not going to even target those kind of people. They got it.
No,
They don't even know what they don't know.
exactly. I was literally watching a sermon the other day about that thing. It's like the people that are in the world that are all, you know, whatever, the devil ain't worried about that. He's
Nope.
got them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why would he be worried about someone that cheats on his wife? Why would he be worried about that?
Yeah.
He's got them right where he wants them. But the people that are trying, you know, I
Mm.
just kind of think of it as like, you know, kind of like rock climbing up the mountain. I don't know. That's just what came to my
Ooh.
mind. But you know, you're trying to, you know, get there.
He's trying to pull
But
you off.
those are the people that he's stepping on their feet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Trying to
Or
plant
he
these seeds of like lust or greed or
exactly.
selfishness.
And it's yeah, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy how once you get closer to God, how much more you start to realize the devil that he's alive in this world. You know,
Mm,
there's no good without bad. You know what I'm saying?
that's
And
true.
he's there. You know, and that's something that I personally, yes, daily. You know that I cannot. How do I put it? Like step into the darkness. You know what I mean? Because the darkness, man, the darkness talks. Um, it does, and
Yeah.
it's a real thing, and it's something that I mean we all struggle with it in some way. So it's just recognizing that, but also you know putting
Ooh.
on that armor of the Lord, and saying, hey,
Ecclesiastes.
we're fighting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not going out without a fight. All right.
Yep. Yeah. I love it. Proverbs mentions the further you get closer to God, the more you notice sin and you start despising it. You see evil in the world and you hate it more and more. It's good to hate evil. It's
Right. Right.
biblical. And I was reading Psalm 7 this morning, and it was talking about how like when people do you bad or they do you dirty or you're getting slandered or you're the unjust actions of people will eventually be judged by God, maybe not in this lifetime, but the next.
Right.
And so we have nothing to fear other than God Himself, reverence in the Lord. But
Exactly.
yeah, if we can just rely on Him and continuously just be aware when the temptations creep up. Just lean on him and just don't act. Just got iron sharpens iron, bro. Like, I get to call you. I got other buddies, and like, I got a buddy from Florida, and a few months ago was when I really realized what you said about dying to yourself. I was like, well, he was like, I feel like you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're kind of lukewarm. And I heard that, and I was like, my ego told me, nah, I'm all in. But in reality, take a step back. You're like, dude, I actually was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I told myself at the end of last year, from now on, I'm second. Like, I am number 2. God's first. That mindset of trying to die to yourself, that's huge. And that's something that it really takes. It's a daily discipline. You're not going to have that figured out. You can't just say it once and it's locked in. Every morning, you got to build that foundation of Christ and really try to do it, because it's, as you get more success in life, God might become harder to hear sometimes if you don't have him as a foundation.
Exactly.
They say every poor man knows God, but we're going to have more success. We're going to have, life's going to get busier. We're single men right now. We're going to have a wife someday. We're going to have kids. We got to make sure that we're in alignment so we can lead them the right way. So I want to ask you, segue into that, who are your role models now?
What are my role models now? Man, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy, but there is no one that I truly model myself after right now, in this very moment.
Yeah, that's all right. I think that's a good thing, man.
I think it's more so for me right now in the season I am, is just having people around me that are on the same path as me. There's not one particular person I'm like, I look up to them. Because there isn't anyone that right now that I'm there on that level. I mean, maybe in the future. So I actually just started going to a young adults night.
Nice.
With my church, and one of the leaders there, I could see myself really looking up to this guy, but we just met. So that relationship is it's growing, but there isn't one person that I can say right now, hey, I look up to that person. But there's things that people do that I look up to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Things I can take, from you and say, I really like that in Shane. I want to model that in my own life.
Yeah, you pick the best parts of people, because we're not perfect. Yeah. And right. I like that you mentioned a pastor as well, because I think if I was asked that, I would think the same thing. Like, there's different pastors, the pastor in Florida that I used to see, and the pastor here in La Crosse, and these people that are these family, God-fearing men, really cool. Like, we look at the next phase of our life. Yeah, we want to have some babies and start procreating and have a little mini Marcus,
Exactly.
It's gonna be cool. So I think that's great, looking at some of the best parts of people, and then, because that's the point of the show, really, is different guests each episode, because you can learn something from everybody. And it's so cool to hear everybody. Like, I had a guy who was gonna be on the show today, and he kind of has that like imposter syndrome, and he's like, hey, I don't even know if I'm like the right fit to be on the show. And I was like, dude, like, you're putting way too much pressure on yourself, but totally respect it. He's not going to be on the show, at least for right now. But I was like, dude, like, I think we discount ourselves too much sometimes. Not that we have to feel like we have this amazing story, because we all go through different seasons, and if you can either learn through your own experiences or other people's through this kind of thing, books. It's up to you and how fast you want to learn.
Yeah. And that kind of brings up the thought, it's like, we all have gone through things and will go through things that someone can take and learn something from that. You don't got to be LeBron James to bring value to someone's life. There are things that you have gone through, there are things that I've gone through specifically, and that can help somebody else. You know what I mean? And that is powerful, man. I mean, that I think is a beautiful thing. It's like, man, I've gone through this. I've weathered this storm. And because of that, I can help this person, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful thing. And I think more people, if more people would step into that, there'd be a lot more change, I think, in this world, because it's like, there, you can learn so much from people, man. It doesn't matter who they are. It does not matter.
Well
So,
said. So, who do you want to be in the next 5 years? Who do you see yourself becoming?
and I'd love to be a family man, you know, be a husband, and I don't know about kids. I'll be 30. Maybe even some kids in the oven cooking. But I think just being grounded in family, grounded in my faith, and grounded in whatever I'm doing at the time, and whatever work I'm doing, just grounded, man. I mean, I think that is what I want to be, where I want to be at in 5 years. It's not even
Yeah.
about the money. I don't even worry about the money. The Lord's gonna provide, but just being there for the people I love and being there for others, I think that is what I want to do. So,
I love it. What would you say to younger Marcus? Like, if 20-year-old Mark could see you now, what would he say? Or what would you say? What would he say seeing you now?
I'd probably tell them, stay away from women until, until you can actually respect them in a loving way. Not
Yeah.
that I ever, laid hands, and no, nothing
No,
like
no.
that. But actually respect them for who they are, not
Hmm.
for what they are or what they have, but who they are. And
Yeah.
who are they? They're our daughters of the Lord. And that is what I would tell younger me, to respect women, but most importantly, respect yourself.
Hmm.
Start with you, respect others and love others is what I would say. Love others unconditionally, and don't give up, man. I mean, to keep moving forward. That's what I would say.
Let's go. Dude, where can they find you on socials?
You can find me on Instagram, Marcus Keller _. I have Snapchat, but I'm really not active on that. I don't have it downloaded, so
What the
don't
heck?
add me because I'm not gonna Snapchat you.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Facebook, I'm on there. But other than that, you can find me out in the real world too. So,
Perfect. Yeah, guys. Mark, you killed it, man. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like the episode. Drop a comment of your biggest takeaway. A lot to digress on here. Wow, we covered a lot. Mark's one of my closest friends. So thanks for coming on, bro. We'll
appreciate you having me.
let's go, bro. See you guys in the next one.